you've been on the podcast before, and you're also,
Yeah.
fun fact, you're the first guest to make another appearance. You're the first person we've had on for the second time.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Does it make you feel special?
First.
Does it make you feel special?
Absolutely.
It should.
Absolutely.
No.
100%.
I'm joking. I love talking
No.
to you. No, I love talking to you. Like
Excellent.
a year? No. Was it over a year ago? I don't remember. It was 2021. So it's been a
Yeah,
minute.
it was summer of 2021. Summer of 2021.
It's been a
Yeah, it's
minute.
been like a year and a half.
And what people don't know is we actually talked twice because we were just figuring out Riverside and we didn't know that you
Yeah.
had to stay until it's finished
Right.
uploading. So we were like, Mason, the ending of the interview is gone. Help. And then we recorded again and
Right.
no one ever saw that.
So this is my third interview.
Yeah, with me. And
Beat that, rest of the G&G cast. Yeah.
this time it's just me. We're still gonna talk about Ginny and Georgia, obviously, because like season 2. And I need to talk about
Absolutely.
your vocals, because I was like, Mason, nice. I always love when shows put music into, like, put it into the show in a way that it makes sense. And I always
Hmm.
love hearing talented people sing. So, how was that? Getting
Thank
to
you.
sing
Thank you.
again, getting to sing again for season 2.
Um, it was cool. It was stressful because like with everything involving season one and people's reception of Hunter, like obviously going into season two, there's like plenty of worry. Um, with Child's Play, I mean, it's just like a lot more in my vocal range, so that's already a great step. And it's not like I didn't enjoy I Can Barely Breathe, but Child's Play was definitely more um, in a vocal range and style that like more suits my voice, in my opinion. So I that was nice. There was a vocal coach to work with me, Bob Korf. He was great. Um, it was it was mainly just difficult because like doing vocal lessons over like vocal coaching over Zoom, it's not ideal. And like an entire season filming, there were so many obstacles everyone had when it came to um, filming in the pandemic, right? So that was difficult, but when it came time to record, it's funny. I was supposed to be in Toronto at that time, but then there was a giant snowstorm. So then I had to just stay in Vancouver and record it, and I think it really turned out. I Can Barely Breathe. It's not like I don't like it or anything, but it sounds like a song from like you know, like a TV show or whatever. But Child's Play sounds legit, which is like really cool. It sounds like just a bluesy sort of like an indie blues song. So I think that's really cool. Listening to it, like I've come a long way in like accepting my own, I guess, voice. Um, it's been a bit difficult, being most people aren't used to the sound of their own voice, so it's always a little jarring to hear that. And being like mainly a theater actor before Ginny and Georgia, I'm used to just like leaving it out on the stage and never having to deal with it ever again. So it's taken time to get used to like what I look like, what I sound like, and particularly what my singing voice sounds like. But yeah, hearing Child's Play, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. This it's not all terrible. Like I feel a lot more confident in myself. I made a post the other day on my Instagram, wanting to just like, thank Lily, Ben, and Bob, everyone that, you know, helped me in the process. It was a lot more hands-on um this time. I think that's not like me trying to diss or anything. The first season is just like, there's only so much time and budget really to do everything the first season. In the second season, there was a little bit more budget, a little more time, and with the pandemic, just planning had to be so much more structured. So because of that, and just it's everyone's second go around, so we know what works, what doesn't. Um, yeah, I thought it really turned out. So
It
yeah,
did. I loved it.
awesome.
So speaking of going for a second turnaround, knowing that the show already had such a like wide audience and that it was like number one spot for like what 27 weeks last time around, I don't
27
remember,
days.
or days. Yes, weeks.
I think it was
Weeks is a little
27
excessive.
days. Yeah, yeah, that's almost that's half a year. Yeah, it was sorry, yeah, continue. You didn't actually finish asking the question.
um how was it going back?
Right.
There we go.
Terrifying. Not to sugarcoat it, but terrifying. Because it was just such an intense reaction from all sides. People who like love it so much, like, you know, they love it so much, and people that hated it so much, and me. Um, it was just like it was just a lot, you know? So going back into it was like genuinely terrifying. Um, I deeply, deeply missed everyone on the show. I'm not kidding. Like, there's some of the best people I've ever met in my life. I feel like they're truly friends, and like, not to diss Toronto. Toronto's not really the kind of city that matches my lifestyle, but like part of me just wants to move there just because, like, man, I feel like I've met some of the most incredible people in the world, and I miss them. I miss them dearly. And, because of the pandemic, like I never really got to see anyone, and I think I flew back and forth between Toronto and Vancouver 14 times to complete filming. I didn't stay in Toronto. Um, I didn't stay in Toronto long enough for me to say Toronto, and instead I'm back to calling it Toronto. Um, yeah, so there's a lot of grief essentially and longing for that community again. I mean, again, in the first season, like when I lived in Toronto, um, like we all hung out like every weekend. We were so close as a cast, and just naturally with COVID precautions, we couldn't be. I maybe hung out with everyone twice in the entire span. And as COVID got worse and lockdowns became more intense and people were getting more sick on set, it was just like, you know, just basically everyone figured it was probably a good idea to, just keep it work related and not see anyone. So that all really sucked. And just all the all the stress of like, oh, are people gonna hate my guts this season? I don't know. Here we go. Like there's a certain amount of it that like I expected because like I mean it's a love triangle, right? Like you're gonna like one over the other, It's either Marcus or Hunter, and I mean like in season one, like obviously, I mean just in general, like Marcus is like a main cast member. It's gonna lean more to him. And that's fine. I'm here to do a job, but it's just like, whoa, people made it so personal. Like in real life, one of the last fan interactions I had in real life, I was actually in an after party celebrating with a different cast for a different thing, and I got recognized by this couple, and the woman in the couple, like she was really like, oh my God, you're Hunter Chen, and the guy was like, we hate you, man, we fucking hated you, man. And it was just like, yo, like this is okay, maybe relax. The woman, she wanted like a photo, which is fine, and one of my castmates had to like step in and tell the guy like, hey, shut the fuck
Calm
up.
down.
Just like, no, not, yeah, not cool, man. Like we get it. You saw the show. Um, it was definitely like, I think it was drunk. I mean, everyone was kind of drunk. We were coming out of a bar, but it was like, okay, man, like I'm just some dude, it was like he was like threatened or something. But yeah, like because of all that, my experience with people out there, it was freaky. But um, you know, I still had a really good time when we were filming. Um, I really liked where Hunter was at this season. Um, I think it's also just like the natural next step for him. Like it's a really drastic, not to spoil anything, but like we leave off, we pick up with Hunter where we left with him. He's really sad. And if you've seen any of the trailers, like he doesn't got the ponytail anymore. Like he cut his hair. He's not wearing the Glenn Quagmire Hawaiian shirts anymore. But like that kind of makes sense. Like in high school, I knew plenty of people that after like a really big breakup, like they changed everything about themselves, and kind of works for him, you know? Works for the arc of the character, I think, and there's definitely a really, at least to me, there's a really relatable like just suffering that he's kind of going through. He's getting over the breakup and coming to terms with like Ginny moving on. And I think that's like not only really valid, but I don't think we often see like a positive, like someone trying to take a breakup on positively. And I kind of really enjoyed like being a part of that, you know? I know for me personally, like I have horrible rejection sensitivity dysphoria. I now know what that is, but like my entire life, like breakups aren't easy, but they're particularly difficult for people with ADHD, evidently. And I found out I had ADHD middle of last year, and that's put into context a lot of things. But yeah, like with Hunter, I'm just like, damn, okay, what a good example of like, there's one line. This might be a spoiler. It's just a line though, where like Abby's like, "Man, must kill you to see Hunter, Ginny, and Marcus together." After snaps back with like, "No, I want her to be happy." Like Mister, like positivity, Mister healthy relationships right there, healthy emotional growth. Um, yeah. Does that answer your question? I think that was like in the right
Yes.
vein.
Yes. Let's put the headphones back on.
Chaos.
Ah, back to our regularly scheduled
There is
programming.
legitimately like a 5 second delay in the audio. It's quite jarring.
I am so sorry. But speaking of
No, 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 it's all right. Like,
ADHD, I really
yeah.
enjoy your tweets because I have ADHD too. And I really enjoy everything you retweet because it pops
My
up on my
lamenting.
timeline. I love it. I'm like, oh my
It's
god, this
funny.
is
I
so
don't have
me.
yeah, I mean, I don't it's funny. I refuse to get my Twitter verified. Um so if anyone out there is
Don't
like,
do
"Oh, I
it.
wonder what his Twitter is." I mean, like go ahead and try to find it, but Twitter is a cesspool of garbage. Like don't do it. And I don't want like my Twitter I'm fine with Instagram. I think is a good enough platform where like being verified I think is good because like I enjoy how the platform works and I enjoy a lot of content on there. But I mean, Twitter is just like some of the most, it's just like all negative almost. Like there's some interesting, I find it actually interesting to use it to um find out like if there's like a fire in Vancouver, for example, and I see smoke somewhere, all I got to do is like put like the right keywords in, and I can find someone tweeting about it. I learned this from
Yeah.
Sherlock, actually, the BBC show, where basically like you can find things out just like that because it's like having eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like I don't know, I'm just going on there to like lament about ADHD stuff or hockey or hockey stuff.
How
It,
Canadian
it's
of
it's
you.
been it's been a rough year. Absolutely, I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, and like what a disaster that is right now. And I'm learning about ADHD stuff, and that's all a process. But it's good because it's as opposed to being like a wrecking ball in my life, like I feel like I've been for the last, I don't know, since I've been born. I finally like am starting to understand like why I am the way I am and how to live in a more sustainable way, emotionally, mentally, energy wise. Um, and I'm learning a lot of shames, like for cooking, for example, like I I like love cooking, but the cleanup is just so difficult for my brain that I avoid cooking because once the executive function is gone from like the this cool thing that I'm doing and creating, the cleanup is just like nothing. Like my brain will not trigger. It's very, very difficult for me to begin that process and finish that process. But I mean, over Christmas, I got an air fryer, I got a NutriBullet. I already had like a new Arushi rice cooker, which is great. Like, I'm starting to get used to like, okay, relying on these like appliances that kind of take out a lot of the difficulty of organization and all this prep and basically speeds this process up and makes it more streamlined. Like I usually just like make chicken and like rice and some vegetables, and I mean the rice is the rice cooker and everything else is the air fryer. I can do that all in like one or two goes. Wow, that has saved me so much money because I have the energy to do it as opposed to giving up and just ordering food. Um, and like I'm in control of like the calories and everything, so I'm not just at the whim of whatever like I order. Like, oh my God, it's yeah, like so having the label and then that basically just opened up a whole way for me to learn like what the playbook is and what works and what doesn't work for people like me. And like another hack I kind of realized was like if I buy goldfish like in a bag, I will eat the whole thing. Like unstoppable. It doesn't make me feel good afterwards because that's just like so much garbage carbs and like it's like I have no self-control over it. But if I'm craving goldfish, it's basically I gotta go big or nothing. But then I was like, wait, why don't I get like the little snack ones that like a child would have going to school? And basically with that, like because they're separated into portions, yeah, it's a little bit more because there's more packaging. But for my brain, it's way easier to manage. I'll like finish the whole bag. Normally I have two, but it won't be like an entire one of the bigger bags, right? So I'll only eat like a certain amount, and then my brain doesn't trigger oh, you got to finish the rest because well, that bag is done, and if I need a little more of a carb hit, I can just get one more, and it works better. Same thing like Baby Bell cheeses, like hard-boiled eggs, like basically like individually like kind of packaged things are way way better for my brain as opposed to like I'll eat one banana but not the whole thing. But if I got like a big thing of blueberries, I will eat all the blueberries, like unstoppable. Like there's no impulse control anymore. So yeah, learning those isms and quirks and then managing them differently and preparing for them differently has been a giant boon, an incredible help to this process. And I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, totally at the sustainable lifestyle. Still learning, like sleep for me has been like the worst thing in my entire life. I kind of look like shit right now too. Um, but it's been like a really hard thing for me to manage my sleep schedule. And we're slowly getting there. We're slowly getting there. But yeah, it's baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. So, fun fact, I never actually got 100% diagnosed with ADHD because my therapist, when I was a child, well, I was like 15, 14, she was stupid. So she was like, "You have ADHD, but I'm not going to diagnose you because it's going to be bad for your future." And I was like, "Mm hmm." That was the last time I saw her.
Oh no, no. Oh my God, no. That's like the worst. Oh, because like the reason why this label is important is not only like there's a mental health aspect of it of like okay, so I definitely know this is a thing. It's not even really definite because like it could change and whatnot, but at least like there's a certain amount of like validation there. But also like there are legal ramifications. Like I didn't realize I could be like getting so much more in like student loan support because I'm technically disabled and I have a difficult time with that word and all that whole thing. But in like a traditional school system, yes, I am disabled in that system because my it's not meant for someone with my kind of brain.
Yeah.
So like obviously there are certain concessions that need to be made academic wise and also financial wise. And I'm just like, well, I'm in like my last year of university, and like I'm going to be taking it a lot slower now that I can have these concessions. Thank God. So it's going to take another extra year, but I won't have to do like full course loads of like 5 classes. I only need to do 2 per semester to qualify. I'm just like, oh my God, that's so much easier to manage. But yeah, like I don't know what's like in Germany, but like I don't know, not having that label for so long and not having the playbook and specifically like these academic concessions. Basically, like I've wasted a lot of money, a lot of time, I've lost a lot of sleep, and like there's been so much unnecessary stress academically for me without that official diagnosis. And I mean, like to get my diagnosis, like I went the express route. I had to pay an extra like $300 to like jump the line, just because there's like not enough resources for this in general. So the fact that like you had a therapist that or a psych or whatever say that you have it, but won't give you the official diagnosis, like
I didn't like her. But going back to Twitter and people not being able to separate character from actor, because that
oh yeah.
Twitter is the worst place for that. TikTok is bad, but it's manageable. But Twitter, people don't have a filter.
Basically like I what I learned really quick, and I think he probably learned real quick, is that you know there are crazy people out there and you got to protect yourself because like just it being in this industry, you're putting yourself out there, um and like it's not you, like you're doing a job, you're playing a character, and there are some people out there that are they're not looking to be entertained really, like it's great, anyone can have a Netflix account. Bad people can have Netflix accounts and Twitter accounts, and like like it there are people that will dislike the character, and they have every right to tweet about how much they hate the character or whatever. And there are people that make it really personal and they can tweet whatever as well. It's up to me to find it really. And but it's like the people that go out of their way to like find to try to communicate these things to you. Like I hope he knows like those people are obviously very mentally ill. Like because that's not normal behavior. And that's okay. Like whatever. You can't give any credence to that. Like I screenshot the crazy ones just because I think they're kind of entertainingly funny. Like it I don't know. I've got a pretty dark outlook on a lot of things just with the my upbringing and what I had to deal with in high school. But yeah, so like I don't know. For me, like I was almost raised to like deal with this fairly well, like of course it sucks like when your character isn't received well. It's obviously preferable that like people enjoy your work and appreciate your work, but like deep down I know like the Marcus stuff wouldn't be as good if people didn't hate Hunter in the process too. Like I saw a tweet actually. I just had another interview where I brought this tweet up, but I screenshotted this tweet because I think it's legitimately hilarious. Um, so this tweet says, while season 2 of Ginny and Georgia is significantly better, I still like season 1 more because of how terrible and messy it was. Like, I kind of miss Hunter being more significant because he made the show so insufferable, but funny and cringe, and it was fun. And I think that's like actually hilarious because, fair enough. If that's what they took from it, then okay, like that, art is subjective and that's what that person took from it. Maybe a lot of people took that from the show and whatever, but it's like the weirdest way to get like appreciation. Like, oh, people miss shitting on me. Okay. Well, whatever. I mean, Hunter's a character, so that's kind of fine, honestly. But yeah, when people make it personal, that has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with like just the weird internet culture that we have. A lot of people, it's weird. Like freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from from consequence. Um, and a lot of people kind of don't, especially young people, don't get that. Um, and there's consequence in that a like whatever mean stuff is said, it's going to be on the internet forever. Um, you can try to scrub it, but there are people that have found ways to get stuff. So like just, the internet's written in ink and be like if someone didn't intend to say something hurtful, well, I mean, damn, you might have hurt someone. But I mean, I don't know. Some of these people don't really care, and honestly, like they'll probably get what's coming to them in their life, just if that's how they operate. If their first impulse is like, I'm gonna shit on someone, I'm gonna dunk on them, then yeah, I gotta imagine like they probably don't have really great social interactions in general, and you know, just gotta keep doing you, keep doing being positive. Well, you know, grieve when you have to grieve, but like, you know, go throughout life without with the right intentions, and there are people that are going to try to shit on your parade, but whatever, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
It'll sort itself out.
Yeah. And never, never look your name up on Twitter.
Never do that. Never do that. I mean, I gotta say, I do look up Hunter's name, because I'm curious, just because like, oh, what are people's reactions for Hunter in season two? And it's kind of what I expected. Like a lot of people really enjoy the changes. They find him less cringy. Some people are like, wow, he's like the most like the least unproblematic character this season. Some people miss him being in the show as much. Some people still hate Hunter, and I think that's more so like a holdover because they're still talking about like everything from season one, and like, okay, well, very different trajectory in this season, so whatever. And some people still, and it's like a small amount, but some people still are like, the actor that plays Hunter is ugly and he should kill himself and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it is what it is. Like, I see their profile pictures and I'm like,
Look in the mirror.
I mean, if I'm ugly, then
Damn.
like I'm on a Netflix show, and I don't know, I've been doing pretty good for myself. I don't know how to prove anything to you, but I see your profile pic. It's crazy. The people that call me ugly, it's just like, I don't know, like it's either like children who I'm like, I guess that's like the meanest thing they can say, like bestie, you're ugly or whatever. It's like, I guess that's the new hip like insult in high school. Good for you, kid. Or if it's like a grown ass adult, it's like I'm just kind of like, if that's this is you at peak, wow, like okay, I'm
Wow.
ugly. I I guess sorry, it's never gonna work out, whatever. So I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, there's the hate on Twitter, and then is the people making thirsty TikToks about you. So,
Yeah, that's the
the
other
other
side of
extreme.
things. Definitely. Yeah, like I'd say it's like when the first season came out, um the hate was overwhelming. Like it was overwhelming. But in the when that finally died down, I think maybe after the summer of 2021, it's mainly been like, the community that was left on my Instagram, like they were very positive. Um, Lots of thirst trap stuff. Lots of fan cams, which are always like kind of hilarious to me. And they're sweet. Like, I think it's just kind of surreal for me that like anyone like even thinks of me in any way like this, But um, I don't know. With the second season, uh, it's interesting. Like some people have flipped, and they're like, "Oh, I love Hunter now," which is like, "Oh, wow, okay." And these people are like, "I hated him in season one, but I love him now." And yeah, it's I don't know. I don't really know how to deal with or process any of that still. It's like kind of all like, whoa. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's neat though. It's neat, and I definitely appreciate that a lot more than like obviously the hate. Some people like I don't go into my DMs almost ever, my DM requests. So just sometimes I go in there and I'll see like a couple crazy things, but it's so full like I can't humanly sort through it. But like I've seen some crazy stuff where it's like people saying that I'm the love of their life that they've been waiting for, and like, is there any way they can find me? I'm like, okay, like that's also like too far. Like, whoa,
Stop it.
don't do that. If you see, like, if you happen to see me on the street, like, feel free to say hi. If you want a photo, just be kind and introduce yourself. But like, uh, don't don't find me.
He said, "Don't push
Don't
it."
find my home. Don't push it. Like don't invade my space. Like, and these people are like damn near threatening to because they're like, can I fly you out to wherever? And it's like, no, no, you may not. Um, that's too much. So yeah, yeah. It was like the first season was just like even Netflix told me I wouldn't go on. They recommended not to go on TikTok because it is not good right now. Which I mean, yeah, like Melina, they offered like free suicide prevention counseling. Like they were very concerned for me.
Oh my
Yeah, like
god.
that's how bad it got. Like, and like for
And
me,
they
like
knew
I was
how
like, I'm
bad it
fine.
was.
Like this is well, of course, like they monitor everything, and like they were very worried.
Yeah.
For like there were a lot of reasons why. Like they were worried about Tony. They were worried about. Um, I know there was at least a little bit of worry about Damien because he has the line about Billie Eilish, and he got attacked for that too. And it's like, guys, it's a
I
freaking
mean, you
TV show.
guys
Like
all
whatever.
got
Like
attacked for season 1.
we all got, and then like I won't get into specific details about other things too, but like there was a lot of concern for our mental health. And with like the pandemic and the isolation of that and everything on top.
Yeah.
But like for me, I was like, I'm fine, like good or bad, it's just a lot. That's the only thing. Like it doesn't really
Yeah.
like death threats are I received lots of death threats. And but I mean like I've received them in high school. Those were a lot scarier because like those people could just like find my home, you know.
Yeah.
And they were racist and they hated me. But like death threats in online, it's kind of like, I don't know, like being John Lennon is kind of terrifying, but I live in Vancouver, so um, you know, it's hard to do that in Canada. You know what I mean? Like just with our gun laws.
Yeah.
So I was like I'm fine and like the negative stuff sucks obviously, but it's not that big of a deal really. It's just like the attention is an adjustment. And losing my anonymity, if that's the right word, is like in real life in public is also an adjustment. That's been that's been weird. But we make do. We make do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of acting that people just try to hide away, that the hate comes with the job.
Yep. Like people will just choose a reason to hate you. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like mean tweets that celebrities will read off of in I think it's Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. Like they got this segment,
Yeah.
and it's just like yeah, for like someone will find a reason like you are going to be the celebrity that I hate, and I'm going to hate
Yeah.
tweet about you, and it's weird to like even use the word celebrity in regards to me, but because I don't feel like that. I just feel like a lot of people know who I am. It's weird. I'm this weird in between. I call myself a D-list celebrity, but like, yeah, like people will just like pick a reason and then they're like, I hate this guy forever and he cannot do any right. Like I remember when I got Scarlet and I was posting about Scarlet and I was getting like people replying to my stories like, shut the fuck up. No one cares, Hunter. I'm like, what the fuck? I
I
remember like I posted a
care.
really cute photo of Scarlett that like one of like she's wearing a Canucks jersey on beside her. It's adorable. And I remember receiving like a DM where someone was like, "Fuck you." What do you hate my dog? Like, what?
I
They just like
love her.
people are weird, but like whatever. Like who can hate Scarlet? But that like no one cares about your fucking dog, you stupid tap dancing idiot. And it's like, what? What the hell? But like though that's hilarious to me though, because it's just like it's so over the top where it's just like how can you not laugh at that? Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like the when it when it's over the top or when it's the only there's only been one time where it cut deep, and it was when someone tweeted if they wanted to talk about racism, they should have cast a full Asian man and a full black girl. And it was just like that because that was really like it came from I understand that racism is prejudice within a power system regarding one's race, and it's very complicated. But it was just like, you know, I I'm half white, yes, but like white supremacy is not famously inclusive. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I have never been considered white to white people who are being racist to me. I have always just been perceived as Asian or worse, a racial abomination. Like there's some people that are like, yeah, well, the Asians should be with the Asians and the whites should be with the whites and there shouldn't be mixing. And then like they see someone like me and like I'm offensive, my existence is offensive and like I've had people threaten to kill me and my family growing up. Um, and like have called my dad like a race betrayer. I don't even think he knows this, but like in like high school, like people would in middle school, like people would say this crazy shit, and like I'm not the only mixed person with this experience. Like this like racial abomination thing is maybe it's not super common anymore, but like it's definitely a thing that happens, especially in like very homogenous communities. Um, so like maybe not in like a Vancouver or Toronto or like a big city where it's generally like multicultural, but yeah, like to hear that was really frustrating because it's like you're missing the point and like this is there's a lot of disregard for the mixed experience with monoracial folks because yeah, there's like this assumption like there is certainly colorism privilege that I carry. Like I'm whiter than like a lot of white people. I'm very pale. But like even still, like people, especially regarding like Asian people, like when people say like Asian people are like adjacent to white people in regards to privilege, it's like whoa. But like you could say that for me, I guess, like because I mean you cover my eyes, I'm pretty much a white person. But I mean like my roommate Terrence is brown. He does not benefit from colorism at all. Like he's Southern Chinese brown. And you get real dark too if you're like Indonesian. Like it's just like I don't know. I feel like Asian people and like the entire Asian experience is often completely misunderstood by people who are not Asian. Um, and just the mixed experience is not really understood by a lot of people, and those are the only comments that ever bothered me when people like just full on did not get what we were trying to talk about and disregarded what we're trying to talk about because of our half whiteness, as if that cancels out our experience with racism. I wish it did. Like I genuinely, I wish it did. I wish I didn't have to go through any of that. Um, like like obviously, I wish racism didn't exist, but like there were times as a teenager where I would like cry myself to sleep and wondering like, but I'm half white. Why do they, like what I share their culture. Like, why am I excluded? Why do they hate me? What did I do? Like people would yell at me. I remember like I'm stealing jobs. My mom's stealing people's jobs. I'm like, my mom works at Safeway. She's a grocery clerk. she didn't steal your dad's job. Your dad works in the oil patch. You want to pack some bags? Like, and I don't know. Like, I worked at Staples at, like, dude, you can come in and get a job at Staples too, but you don't want to get paid this garbage right now. This minimum wage, and I'm selling you an extended warranty. Like, man, yeah. I wish though, like, I wish people got that. I wish I had more, the scene in season one. I wish there was more time and more space in season one to deal with it and further and get into like details like that. But we only had the fight to get into it, and we only had that brief um, little scenelet before in the birthday episode that to really talk about it. So that was more just like there's only 10 episodes, right? And they're trying to tell a really
Yeah.
big narrative. But yeah,
But I had so much fun chatting with you again
I had a
and
lot of fun
getting
chatting with you again too.
a little deeper than your usual interview
Yeah.
and talking more about you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I saw another screenshot of something where people was this website was like it was talking about like people's social media where you can find them, and this thing when it was talking about me, it was like Hunter may be the cringiest character to ever grace a Netflix screen, but Mason Temple is far from that. And then it went on to talk about my Instagram, and I'm just reading it. I'm like, thanks, I guess. Like, okay. I don't know. He's just a boy. He's just a kid.
He's
Whatever.
just a boy standing
It
in
is
front
what
of a
it
girl
is.
asking her to love him
Really, in his tap shoes
over
tapping down the
Snapchat.
hallway. I've got yeah,
Over Snapchat.
I've got like a YouTube video explaining that, and a YouTube video explaining the Snapchat if people want to go f find out those stories. But yeah. Anyways, it was great talking to you.
Thank
I
you.
guess I'll see you next time.
Yes,
Yeah,
see
no
you
problem.
next time.
All right. Peace. Have a happy Friday.